I'd like to welcome to the stage the cast. If you could all come down here. Alexander Skarsgård. Mia Goth. Coleman. Coleman. What are you all doing or something? So, unless we have questions already, I can kick things off. Okay, let's start. I'll start it out. Brandon, I'd love to hear from you. So, I'd love to hear kind of your progression between projects. This is your third feature now, and I'm interested. I talk to some filmmakers, and they talk about kind of they feel like a lineage between their films, and there could be subtle kind of responses. They do one film, and with the next, they want to do something subtle or big in response to what they did previous. But then I hear other filmmakers who, like every project is something new. They kind of lose everything from the past project and then move on to the next. I'm interested to see kind of how you approach project to project. I'm sort of not at the point yet where I can choose which projects I'm going to do next. So we started working on this before I shot Possessor, before we shot Possessor. It was being written years before. And it's just kind of hard to know which one's going to go next. I mean, I think most filmmakers have a lot of different things in development, and it just takes years and years and years to get them off the ground. So, I mean, there are connections to my previous film, for instance, the hallucination sequence, some of that collaboration, with Kareem Hussein, but cinematographer Dan Martin doing the makeup effects. It was different tricks, but it was a sort of a similar thing that we were exploring and taking it a bit further. And then James Vanderwater engaged in a completely deranged editing process with me to get those sequences together. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. It's hard to be calculated, I think, at least at the stage I'm at. And let's hear from the cast. We can work our way down. I'd ask you, let's imagine 5 years from now when someone says, the film title Infinity Pool, what's going to be kind of the scene that just immediately pops into your mind, shooting moment on the set? What do you feel like that is? Just kind of unconscious, you hear Infinity Pool, what's going to pop in your head about the experience? Yes.
Well, I would say there's quite a few memorable moments, but finding a naked version of myself is a death, and then breastfeeding Mia, being breastfed by Mia, was...
Cut that one out.
Yeah, we covered both. That's something you don't often get to do as an actor. Which was human being.
It should be also said that it was, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it was -1 degree Celsius and snowing during that naked fight, so it was more memorable for that reason.
It was.
I would have to say certain pieces of chicken from the hood of the car. That's my favorite day on set.
Okay, the place where we made the double, that was this really cool Soviet era, old factory, and that was just the craziest place. It was all real. It's not as funny, but it was good.
I'm going to say my memorable experience with this was having to go to the gym every single day to be that naked on this movie.
Yeah, I did a double with that. It was the orgy. And it was the nicest experience. It was the last day, and it was the easiest, and it was the most comfortable I felt with these people, and I would do it again, not because of the sexy stuff, but because of how nice it was.
Yeah, orgies and film.
How do you follow that? I would remember groping Johnny Ralston in the orgy scene. It was really nice. And
city coordinator, because God knows there was a lot of intimacy that he coordinated. But I have to say, it was just a wonderful world for me of prosthetics, and seeing what was created and what could come out of different orifices. So it was really quite, the artistic element was really quite lovely.
Let's open up to the audience. Okay, one question for you first.
This is for Mia. Did you draw any inspiration for your character Gabby from Pearl?
No, I actually, I received the script for Infinity War whilst I was filming Pearl out in New Zealand, and originally I had said I'm not gonna read anything whilst I'm working, but then this came along and I saw Brandon's name and I was like, alright, I'm gonna do this. And then it became apparent to me what kind of role this was, and I was thinking to, you know, what I was doing on the set of Pearl, and then the fact that I shot X and then I was filming Pearl, and all of these characters were quite free and unhinged, and the fact that I was able to then continue, I was going to have the chance to continue exploring these really wild characters just felt like a real gift as an actor, so it was an immediate yes.
Next question. Yep.
Yeah, this is for Alex. When did you decide you were going to executive produce this film?
Well, as soon as I read it, it was just such an amazing opportunity as an actor, but also I really believed in the project. And Andrea Riseborough is a dear friend of mine, and she worked with Brandon on Possessor, and I truly loved that film. And Andrea was so talking to Andrea about that experience. She praised working with Brandon and what an amazing experience that was. And so reading it and to go on this adventure as an actor, and it's very rare. There's a lot of conformity and monotony when you read scripts, but well, you've just seen the movie. It's crazy, love it or hate it, but it's rare to experience something like this as an actor. So I just really wanted to, and it's an indie film, and I wanted to do whatever I could to help it and push it and help Brandon and kind of visualize it.
Okay, we'll come to you in front.
For Brandon or possibly Alexander, what kind of materials did you use for the skull pummeling scene?
Questions about the material used for the skull pummeling scene.
A lot of it was silicone. There was a little banana in there, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Dan Martin made it, and it was, it was mostly silicone. It was like a crushable skull that he made in there, and something.
Can I just want to add real quick? When we shot that, like Brandon said, it was fucking freezing, and the guy I'm fighting is Mark Slaughter, who's my stunt double, and we when I read the script, I was shooting The Northman with Mark, and it was, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but the end sequence is we're fighting naked, and it was really cold, and I get the script, and I read it, and it's called Infinity Pool, and it takes place at this resort, so I'm like, Mark, I got a fucking amazing job for us here. It's warm and toasty, and it's lovely, and it's gonna be like so nice. Let's go do it. Cut to 6 months later, it's snowing while we're shooting that naked scene, so, but.
I mean, Mark got in touch with us and he said, you know what he loves to do? I think if we could move the fight later in the month, I think it'll be cold enough for him to really just, engage with that material.
Well, it makes my nipples look great, so.
For two more, we'll come to you, and then we'll come over there. So you right there on that.
I was wondering what the inspiration behind the design of the masks were, were there different, I'm going to use the word prototypes and,
So the masks were designed by Richard Rapphorst, who I don't know if you know him, but he's a fantastic filmmaker and also a comics artist and a concept artist. And we brought him on just to do those specifically because they're such a central image to the film, and you know, well, he's had this amazing aesthetic since I saw Frankenstein's Army. He's so visual, and yeah. So it was. I mean, in the script, they're sort of described vaguely as kind of like leathery, twisted, you know, masks. We were trying to make them not exactly any particular cultural tradition, and to sort of invent something new. And Richard is great at inventing new things, and so that's how it came.
We have Butch over here. Okay, back there. Not on the aisle, one behind. Yes, you. Yes. Yeah, now come to the aisle.
For Brandon, I guess I'm just, if you could talk about getting this film made, and getting these amazing actors attached, and kind of how you got that to the finish line.
I mean, very great producers. And wonderful producers. I mean, it started off with Film Forge, who were really close friends of mine for years, and yeah, and Neon came on, and everybody sort of gradually came on, and it's just what is the process? I mean, you start to send it out to people, and you hear that Alex is really cold, and maybe he'd be up for a warm film, so and it just sort of gradually built that way.
We have time for one more on the aisle right here.
Hi, I was wondering why you set this country in the part of the world that you did. It's not specified, but I'm curious why it's set in Europe adjacent.
Yeah, the question is about the non-specific Europe adjacent country.
I mean, I guess because it's inherently this fictional world. It has this weird tradition. I didn't want to kind of insert that into. At first, I just didn't want to insert it into sort of like a recognizable setting, and I didn't want to do the tropical thing necessarily. It felt more interesting to do this kind of Adriatic coast. But then just it in part came from the real locations a little bit, like as we were shooting in Croatia and Hungary, and so their histories with communism and some of the like the brutalist architecture of that era was still present at the resort. It was like built during that era, and so it kind of it was a little less specific initially, and it took on a bit more of a kind of Eastern European flavor maybe as we were over there, but. I guess it was just such an absurdist setting and idea. I wanted it to kind of be its own thing. But that's it.
Let's give a final round of applause to the team. Thank you.